So welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we are going to be reviewing this little beauty. Let's get into it. So as I said, welcome back to the channel, and we are going to be looking at this lovely little kit that's come from Border Models. This is kit number BF006, and it is the A6M6 Zero fighter that's got interior, engine and weapons, etc. So it's in 1/35. Obviously, some people start the debate right now, if you wish, 1/35th or 1/32nd, you know, what floats your boat. But for me, this works really fine because obviously this is going to go with the current build that we're doing. It's going to be perfect. So let's have a quick look at the box art. As you can see, this is a Zero, depicted in 1945, obviously diving down, attacking and being shot up. On the side of the box, we have got a little bit of the CAD work of the actual kit itself, and then a representation of the decals that are on here. And then on the other side, we've got our schemes. So we've got a scheme starting from 1941, which is Pearl Harbor, obviously. And then we're going through to 1942 and all the way through to 1945. So lots of variations of scheme there you can choose from, but lots of schemes there you can choose from. I haven't made my mind up which one it's going to be yet, but obviously it's going to be around the time of Midway. So yeah, we'll work that out, which particular colors that is later. But anyway, let's get into the kit itself and have a look at the sprue, shall we? So before we get to the sprues, let's have a quick look at our instructions. So this is typical Border Models instructions, very detailed and very good. So you can see on our first page, we've got all the sprues that come in the box. We've got a little bit of PE and some decals. There's some wire as well in there somewhere, which I haven't seen, but I'm sure that's there somewhere. And 5 springs as well to look out for. So that's going to be interesting. The instructions then go straight into the making of the radial engine. Now this is a highly detailed radial engine. I'm going to have lots of fun with this. You can add to it a little bit more of the wiring if you so wish to, but to be honest, the detail is more than ample. And then obviously we've got our cowling that goes around it. This all comes in parts, and that's all explained to you step by step. Going to make up a beautiful thing. So you can have this open to show the interior detail, or you can have it all shut up and flying or whatever. Lots of choices you could do. On to the next page, and we're looking at the interior now and our guns, etc. So we've got our weapons systems here. That's all comes together very nicely. Then we've got our bulkheads, etc. here, and that makes up into our internal cockpit. Now, as I said, the cockpit is highly detailed. There's lots of effort going to go into that. And again, you can, if you really want to add, there is room to add a little bit more for those that like to add a little bit of wiring and all that sort of thing. But you've got more than enough going on there to keep you going. So obviously that comes up into a very nice little cockpit that comes all together. And then that we put to one side as we concentrate onto the wing sections now, which is obviously this part here. We've got our bits and pieces for the internals for the wheelbase. So that's highly detailed and going to look pretty special. Remember to look out for these things here where they're asking you to drill holes, etc. So do look through the whole of the instructions from start to finish. And then obviously you've got your 2 different versions. You've got your ground status, so if it's on the ground, or flight status, you've got a slightly different configuration going on there. So watch out for that. And then obviously you're onto your wings. You've got your bits and pieces that you add in. You've got that metal that we talked about coming along now. This is going into the flap section, and that helps keep the flaps nice and firm. quite an interesting idea, really, to do that. And then we're on to our internal parts. So you've got your weapons that sit inside the guns. Sorry, your guns that sit inside your wings as well. Now, bear in mind, you can open this up to show that element if it's on the ground and being maintained. And then we're on to putting the wings together themselves. So, you know, it looks like a nice straightforward sort of build. You've got some weapons that we're talking about doing there as well in this bottom corner, putting those together. And then obviously we're putting our wings together and putting our main weapons, etc., on that we're going to have. Actually, looking at that, they are bombs as well as a external fuel tank. That one is, I believe. But yeah, so you know, you've got lots of bits and pieces there to go through, and then you're into your cockpit, putting your cockpit last bit of details in for your fuselage, so you can bring that all together. Your rear elevators, etc. there, and look at that cockpit. That's all going to just sit nicely inside your fuselage, and that all comes together quite nicely on stage 14. And then obviously you're going to marry the two up. So now you're at the position where you're putting your fuselage and your wings together. And then once you've done that, then you're going to put your engine on to the main fuselage and your spinner. Like I said, there is a small amount of PE. There's a bit here with the sights, etc. But not a great deal. Not a great deal to worry about. And then you're into your wheels and putting all your last bits and pieces on. You got a bit more PE there on your wheels. So if you got your undercarriage down, you can adjust that. And remember, you got your springs there. So it's an active shock absorber there. Once it's sat still, I'm not quite sure what that difference that's going to make, but you know, it certainly will help. And then you're on to your last part where you're just putting your feet, if you like, onto your ground status aircraft. So, you know, 16 pages of instructions, all very good. Here you've got a shout out for Ammo MiG, talking about the colors in which you're going to use, etc. On your particular different schemes that are within the box, which is nice and helpful. Obviously, if you don't use Ammo MiG, then of course you can always use that in a comparison chart online. And that's the instructions. Very nice, very nicely laid out, very simple design, making it easy for you to follow. Okay, so here we are. So we were talking, weren't we, about the PE? That is literally the PE. You've got some belts there and some bits and pieces, sights and other bits for your undercarriage. Nothing too exciting or to get worried about, because some people do get worried about PE. There you go. There's the springs there in the top corner in the bag, and then obviously our bits of wire there as well. We will have a look at the decals a little bit later on, but let's get on to some sprues, shall we? Okay, so this is Sprue A. So this is obviously got our main wings, spans, etc., and our wing flaps. And I can tell you, just looking at that, the surface detail on here is sublime, absolutely sublime. You've got your panels that are raised, etc. You've got your rivet detail. It's just awesome to look at, really is. Let's see if that camera will pick that up nicely. Hopefully that's coming out nicely for you. But you can see the detail on the skin. You've even got some stressed skin there as well. So that's really, really, really nice. I really like that. This is my first time with Border. So, you know, I look at the flaps. The flaps are exceptionally good. So there you go. Looking at that, just phenomenal detail on here. I'm going to really enjoy putting this together. So that was Sprue A. This is Sprue B. So you've got your main fuselage here. Again, the detail on the fuselage is mirrored to that of the wings. Absolutely lovely. Some raised rivets as well as some recessed rivets. Detail I notice. You've got some of your bulkheads here. Again, that's not shy of a few rivets and raised detail, etc. Really, really nicely molded. No flash. I'm not even going to talk about flash because there just is none on this. It's just phenomenal. Well worth every effort and money, these kits, I can tell you. So that's the base of our cockpit pot, if you like, where our pilot's going to sit. We turn it over and you can see it's got internal detail as well in our fuselage, and that is looking incredibly lovely. And that is Sprue B. So now this is Sprue C, onto the main course, so to speak. This has obviously got all the engine detail going on it, and I can tell you, you will not be disappointed with the detail. The detail on these pistons, piston pots, are absolutely lovely. Your wiring, etc., there is all done for you to a point. Like I did say to you, you could add a bit of wiring to this, but you know what? Looking at this, you've got wiring on these piston heads, pots already, and it's more than ample, more than ample. So it'd be really interesting to see how people interpret that and whether they want to add more to it. I don't think I will be myself, but there's nothing wrong and absolutely so wonderful about wiring an engine. Then obviously we've got our exhaust systems here as well, nicely done, and other bits and pieces and components of our engine, amongst some other bits and pieces, which I've got to be totally honest, I'm not sure what they are, but the moulding's lovely, the detail even on here. So this is obviously the interior of our wheel bay, and that's raised rivets on there all day long. Just gonna absolutely scream. It's not gonna pop, it's gonna scream. It's beautiful, beautiful. I do like border already. I am a massive fan. And we've got our weapons here as well, our little weapons. I think these are the ones that go in the wings, but these are great detailed weapons as well. So that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to building this. This is Sprue C. Sprue D, I don't know if you would call this the dessert sprue or not, but this is where all the fine detail is. It's just absolutely screaming. Just here underneath my finger, this is some amazing detail for the cockpit. This is where your dial is going to go, and that's all raised detail. I can see some rivets on there, etc., or screw heads rather, probably, given the fact that the dials in the main cockpit there. Then obviously you've got your weapons here as well. These are just lovely. They've got, again, detail on them is superb. You've got your radio there. Oh, this bit here. Again, beautiful detail. Hopefully you're looking at these with some pictures that I've done. You got your pedals here as well. That's even got raised details on it. You know, once it goes in, you're probably never going to see it again, but it's there. It's definitely there without a doubt. Even on our fuel tank here, we've got some beautiful, really nice detail on there. Let's turn the sprue over on our dessert sprue. I'm going to call it a dessert sprue because I think it's fun calling it a dessert sprue. People will be, I can hear all the people slapping their heads right now going, oh my God. So this is obviously the wall of the cockpit just here, and the detail in there is phenomenal. There's loads of bits to add into that, but that's just gonna scream at you. Lots of potential weathering and all sorts of things you can have going on there. It's just a dream for the model maker that likes to spend a bit of time and extra making that extra detail pop. I notice here that this is the seat here. That's nicely molded. Got some nice holes, etc., in it, as they would have been, as well as our bomb here. I don't think I've ever seen a bomb with detail like that on it before. You know, that's clever. I like that. That's really nice. It shows that, you know, a lot of care and attention has been put into it. So yeah, and we've got our main prop, which is nicely molded. Nothing to worry about on any of these sprues whatsoever. So this was Sprue D. So we've got two little sprues here. This is just an additional couple of bits and pieces. This is obviously a control for the cockpit. And other bits and pieces. I don't know what they are, but I would say most of those are for cockpit or to go in a cockpit, and then probably some little steps and stuff to help the pilot get in and out, maybe. But I'm not 100% certain. And it's got no sprue per se, so they're just an additional bit that's been put in to the kit. Obviously, were on a different sprue and taken off. So there you go. So I'm going to open this very briefly, very carefully. This is our clear section sprue, and I can tell you there are no flaws whatsoever. Let's see if I can hold that up so you can see it a bit better. There are no flaws in that sprue at all. All the panes are clear as day. Just lovely. And I'm going to quickly put it back in the box because I don't want to get it dirty. My fingerprints all over it. But yeah, what a joy. What an absolute joy that is. So here we are with our... I'm back in a little bit. So here we are with our decals. Yeah, I can't see an awful lot of carrier film around these decals at all. I think they're pretty good. I don't know who makes them. I don't think it's Cartograph, but they look mightily nice. The red is a nice matte color, so you're not going to have any issues with that. And you really have got some lovely decals there. Really nice. So there you go. I can't wait to start building this. It looks like it's going to be a really interesting and fun build. The designs and for their detail, etc., I can't recommend them enough. They really are phenomenal, and certainly a company I'm going to do a lot more with, I think, in the future. But that is going to be well in the future. And of course, talking of which, if you've liked the content so far, please make sure you like and subscribe. There's an awful lot coming in the next 6 months or so, and stay tuned with all of the reviews, both kits and products, as well as the build that is going to be going on with the roundtables and all that sort of stuff. Awful lot going on. Please make sure you like, comment, and all that sort of jazz. But until next time, stay safe and keep modeling. So there you go. That is our Kate 135th Border models. Really great to see another 135th aircraft. So looking forward to them bringing some other additions to their range in this particular scale. Hopefully they're going to be doing something along the lines with the American aircraft carrier. Now that I don't know if that's factual at all, but that's the rumor, and if that is the case, I think that'd be absolutely amazing, and I can guarantee I'll be signing up to buy something along those lines. As a kit, loads of plastic, loads of things you can do to it. Even though you've got so much detail already, there is just the scope to really enjoy yourself with this one. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this particular review, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We've got so much coming up over the next 6 months or so, and I don't want you to miss out on the content coming up. But until next time, thank you and keep modeling.